Hello and welcome to another amazing video tutorial with KingTech Coding Clinic once again. And this is the part 2 of our previous lessons on how to create data entry system using Chatgpt. In our previous lessons, we've created a very simple, straightforward data entry system, just like what you're seeing on the screen here, which has just the various text boxes, combo boxes, and then the controls. Okay, it's a very simple, straightforward data entry system. And in this lesson, we're going to be creating more advanced data entry system just like this here, as you are seeing, which has the calendar, the list box, and then the image controls and holders and other buttons as well. It's going to be very simple, straightforward, and fun. Okay, if you haven't watched our previous video tutorials on the part 1 of this particular lesson, then I advise you to check in the link in the video description below. You can just grab that lesson together with the files and then the VBA codes and follow along. Make sure you complete that lesson before you come back for this particular one here, because in this lesson we're going to be creating more advanced data entry system just as this. Okay, all using ChatGPT without any problems, without any stress. Okay, it's going to be very easy, straightforward, and fun. Let's quickly delve right into that. All right, so here we are once again. So what you need to check first of all is to make sure you have your ChatGPT account up and running. And we are going to be following our previous chart. When you look at the left panel of ChatGPT interface here, you see your previous chart here. So what you have to do, I just named the previous chart here. Just click on this and then you rename it to the conversation you were having with ChatGPT. So I just named mine here, data entry with ChatGPT lesson. So that is what I've just opened. So you just open your previous chart, the one we had in the part 1 of the lesson. Once you have that chart up and running, then you are good to go. So once you have that, we can minimize this now. So this was the first part of the lesson we covered. We were able to develop a very simple data entry system here, just as this one here. So we covered this in the previous lesson. So we're going to make this an advanced data entry system. We're not going to create it from scratch again. That is why I said if you haven't watched the first part of the lesson, then I would advise you to check that in the video description below. You can just watch that lesson before you come back. By the time you finish watching that lesson, you should be able to create a very simple data entry system like this using ChatGPT prompts. So once you are done, you can then come back for this particular one. So let's continue. What we are going to do is quickly expand this particular form a bit. And what we are going to be adding here is basically the image control. So just select this image control here and you just draw it here perfectly this way. I think this is okay. You can bring it down a bit, and then from here I would want to probably click inside here and then reduce the size of this a bit. There we go. So what I'm going to do is to select this button here, Control C to copy and Control V to paste it, and then I'll just bring it here as well. I would want to stretch it up a bit to cover the entire the width of the that is the length of the by here. Then I'll just type there upload photo. Perfect. So that is the upload photo button. Then I'll save my work. Always don't forget to save your work. So once I'm done, the next thing is for me to add a list box. So this is the list box. I'll just select this and quickly draw my list box here, straightforward here. Perfect. So with the list box, we're just going to, okay, we are not going to do anything with it now. So let's leave it as it is. So the first prompt you're going to be giving ChatGPT, let's minimize this one now. And these are the prompts I'll be sharing with you. You can follow along. You can just copy this prompt and then we paste. This is the part 2, as you can see, data entry forms with ChatGPT prompts part 2. So moving forward, we've already created the basics, right? And so we've just added certain things. So what I'm telling ChatGPT here is that I have an image control named image1 on the user form. ChatGPT is already aware of the user form I'm talking about based on our previous chat, right? So you don't have any problem with that. So I'm telling it to write a VBA code to browse for an image, and have the image displayed on the image1 control on a button click. Only the JPG file extension images is what I would want to add. So I'll just copy this prompt here, Control C to copy this, and quickly come inside here and then come to ChatGPT and then Control V to paste. Okay, so just hit enter and let's see what ChatGPT has for us. Perfect. So our codes are ready. So what we're going to do is just to click here to copy the codes and then you minimize this one now. So let's select this button here and let's rename it to what? Add photo. So let's add photo, or CMD add photo. Perfect. There we go. So once we are done with that, what we need to do is to double click on this button here, and then we paste the codes here. So let's save our work. So what we need to do is to just go through our code. So let's remove the first sub procedure here and then the end sub here as usual. So once we are done, Control S to save your work. So what we are going to do is to quickly run our form now and see what's going to happen. So once we run our form, we click on this. Now there is one thing I would want you to know. Errors are bound to come. ChatGPT is always not perfect when it comes to things like this. So we have to support it in one way or the other by giving it the right prompt, okay? And if there is an error, we are going to use the same ChatGPT to debug and fix the error, so you don't have any problem. So what we're going to do right now is to go to my drive here. I have some images here. So in this folder here, so what I'm going to do is to go to this folder, to go databases, and my passport images are here. So I just grab one of this picture, and then you can see I have the picture, but there's that the picture has overstretched. So let me just click this, select this picture frame here, and then come here, and then picture size mode, click here, and then click on stretch. Okay, so now let's run our form, and then and then grab the picture once again. So when we select it now and click, you can see that it's now perfectly fit. Perfect. So that is what we want. So now that code, or that model, is also working perfectly without any problem, without any issue. So now moving forward, don't forget to save your work once again. Now moving forward, let's go to our next prompt. So what we are saying now is that write for me the VB echo to create a folder in my C drive on user form initialize. The name of the folder should be data entry photos, and check for an error anytime the user form is initialized in the folder with the same name already exists. Just resume next. So what I'm telling ChatGPT is that sometimes if you ask ChatGPT, or if you write VBA codes to do something like creating a directory, if the directory already exists, sometimes it throws an error. So what I'm telling ChatGPT is to make sure it checks for me if there is an already existing file directory, folder directory, that is a folder with the same name. Skip it by just using a line of code to check the error by saying on error resume next. So I'm just giving ChatGPT exactly what I want. Okay, let me go to my C drive and show you something here. When you come to my C drive here, I already have that folder called data entry photos. When you open it, you see I was testing the project. So I'm going to delete that folder here now. So I'm going to delete it first. So let me minimize this. So I'm going to copy this prompt now, because that is the folder where I'll be storing my images. So I'm going to minimize this one now and come to ChatGPT now, and then paste the code and then press enter. So let's see. Perfect. So ChatGPT is done generating our codes for us. So what we are going to do is to copy these codes now. Let's come back to our user form. Double click on the user form here. So when you double click on the user form here, we already have the user form initialized codes here. Okay. So what we are going to do is just to come here and Control V to paste this. So what we are going to do is to remove this one here. Just remove what you have here, and then remove this end sub as well. Now this message here, we don't want it, else this message. Okay, so what we are going to do is to remove all these codes here. Okay, we're going to remove it. There's this error checking up. We don't need it. Okay, so that is okay for now. So let's run this and let's see what's going to happen. So we've just run it. Now if we should go back to our C drive, you can see that the folder is created called data entry photos. It's empty. So that is exactly what we want. So let me minimize this now and close it again. Close this and rerun the code once again. So now if it's already created, it will just skip, and then you can see we have the folder. I can choose to delete it once again. Let me close this one now. Okay, let me show you this. I've just deleted that folder from the C drive. Let me just delete it again. You can see it's deleted. If I run the codes once again, the form once again, when we get back to the C drive, you can see that it's created again. So we've gotten exactly what we want now. So the folder is already there. So now what we want to do is to close our form now, and then let's click on this to close the form. So perfect. So now let's go back to our prompt once again to see the next line of action. So our next prompt says that I want you to regenerate the submit data code so that data can be saved with the image. We've just added the image control, and the image should be saved with the record ID. I would want the image to be saved with the ID, okay, in the folder name data entry photos created in the C drive, the folder we've just created now. So I'm telling it to use this function. Actually, when I was testing the project, I realized that when I asked it to regenerate that, it was giving some errors. And it generated this particular function that in case you would want to save record with the image, that function should be used. So I would want to make reference of that function to it. So anytime you would want ChatGPT to what? Help you generate VBA codes to what? Save record with image, please include this function. Okay, and then the next I'm saying is that also save the record to the sheet using this approach. There is another approach that it uses in saving record, and I've realized that with that approach, if I would want to search for record, it's always through a lot of errors, and I find it difficult to fix that error even together with ChatGPT. Okay, so I'm just specifying that it should go ahead and save the record using this approach. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to copy this prompt. Just copy this prompt up to here. Control C to copy this. Then we come back to ChatGPT now and then Control V to paste. So let's press enter and regenerate that code. So now our code is ready. What we are going to do is just to make sure that we just copy what we have here now. So we just go ahead and copy this straightforward, and then let's go to our user form now. Let's click on this, double click here, then we double click on this particular submit codes here. So what we are going to do is this particular module, I don't even need it. So let me just clear this module here. Also make sure you do that. So once we are done, we got to come back here now. Let's select all what we have here. Okay, even including all this. Yeah, so we just clear this one now. Okay, let's include this one as well. And then let me just go back to the form now, double click on it again to create the sub procedure, then Control V to paste. So once we paste this particular module is used to clear text boxes. I don't need it. So what I'm going to do is to clear it. So I've just cleared that. Then the end sub, remove one, and then left with one. You've just cleared the sub procedure, and this is where it is being called. So comment it out, or you just remove it completely. So I'm removing this one as well, just chopping this off. And then let me move to the top here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to copy this, just select this one, Control X to cut it. Immediately after cutting it, just select this one here, Control V to paste. Okay, so there we go. So now everything is set and up and running. So let's try running our form and see. So what we are going to do is to just submit some records. So let's enter. All right, so my record is set. So what I'm going to do is to click on add and save now. So I've just add and saved the record. So let's see, all the record is saved. We have that up and running. So now let's check to make sure that our image is actually submitted as well. So you see that we have the image in the data entry photos folder. You see that the image is there. Let's try adding another record to see. So let's run the form from here. We've just added another record. So what I'm going to do is to click on add and save, and then we have that record as well added. Let's check our C drive and check the folder. We have the second image. See that the images are being added using what? That is the ID, just as we specified in our prompt for ChatGPT. So now we save our work. So we can see that the submit button is now working together by submitting the record together with the image. Let's go to our prompt once again. So the next line of action is this. We would want it to regenerate the search code to enable record together with the what? Image. That is the search box is text box 11, and then the image control is image 1. So what I'm saying is that it should regenerate the search codes for me so that I'll be able to search the record together with the image back to the user form. So I'm going to copy this one now and then bring it down here. Let's just paste it inside and press enter. All right, so the codes are ready, but what I've noticed is that it has regenerated the codes and then it's leaving some codes asking me to continue. If you are a new user, if you are new to VBA, you might not be able to complete this. So what do you have to do? Just tell ChatGPT to regenerate everything without allowing or without leaving anything for you to complete. So tell it what? Generate all the codes. That is for search. Without leaving anything for me to complete. Perfect. So tell it that way. So tell it to generate all the codes for a search or that particular codes you are looking for without it leaving anything for you to complete. So it will generate everything. Okay, still it is still leaving certain things for us to complete. So I'll just copy this and then ask it to regenerate the codes and complete all this. I'll just hit space and then give it this out. So let's run it and see. There we go. So now it has regenerated everything without allowing anything or leaving anything behind for us to complete. So we're going to copy the codes now and let's go to our VBA project. So let's double click on the search. So what we're going to do is to clear the search procedure from here, maybe starting from here, I'm sure. Clear that up to here, up to this level, CMD search. So we clear this. Oh, and then okay, then Control V to paste. So once we paste this, we have this now, and then ends up here. So let's run our codes now and see. So okay, let's remove this sub procedure here, this one here, the beginning part of it. There we go. So save our work. Let's run it now. So let's try searching the first person and then click on search. So we see that it's able to return the records for us. So we try searching for the second person and click on search and then it's able to return the record for us. So you can see that the search record is also working perfectly, or the search model is also working perfectly. Now moving forward, let's go to the prompt once again and see what is next. So it says what? Let me just use these lines here to differentiate between the prompts. Okay, demarcate. There we go. Save it. Now it says what? Below is the delete codes working perfectly. Just add some few lines of codes to be able to delete the record together with the image. Now listen to this. You can see the way I just framed this prompt for ChatGPT. What I noticed is that what ChatGPT was trying to do for me is whenever I ask it to regenerate the code for me to delete record, sorry, is it delete? Yeah, to delete record, it actually generates some codes and then the codes were not actually working. So what I did was that in order for me to simplify its work for it, I just copied the previous delete codes for the part 1 of the lesson. Then I gave it to the codes and I gave those codes to it and tell it that this code is actually working. So what I need you to do is just add some few lines of codes within this code so that I'll be able to delete the record together with the image. So that was the prompt. That's how I just modify the prompt. Sometimes you have to tweak it like that so that it will be able to process what you've given it and then you'll be able to get the right response you want. So we just copy from here. Let me see. Okay, that is that. Okay, so we just copy from here and then let's see this. That is it up to here. So Control C to copy this now, and then we come back here and click inside Control V to paste. Let's run it. There we go. So our prompt is now ready. So we copy this. Let's come to our form, double click on the delete, and then let's select from here to the top up to where the delete. Just let's clear together with the model sub procedures, then Control V to paste. So we now have the new delete model here. So let's run our form now. So let's search for the first. Okay, let's search for record 3, record not found. Let's search for record 2. Now record is here. Let's delete. So once we click on, are you sure you want to delete? We say no, nothing happens, cancelled. Once we click on this and say yes, record is deleted. So you can see that the record is actually deleted here. Let's go to the folder to see whether we can get the image. The image is also gone, exactly how we want it. It means the delete module is also working perfectly. Let's move on. Now we move on to the update module. So I'm telling Chatgpt, let's demarcate a line here. So now I'm telling Chatgpt to what? To modify the submit code, meaning this, the submit and then updates are similar. Okay, the modules are similar. So what I'm telling Chatgpt is that modify this submit code and change it into update records code. So I'm giving it the submit code the way it is, and I'm asking it to modify that for me. So what I'm going to do is to just copy it from here. Perfect, up to here. Control C, and then I'll come inside here. Control V, and then let's run it. There we go. The model is ready. So we copy this now and minimize this. Let's minimize this and then come back here. So now it's what? Update. So double click on this. So what we're going to do is to select. Let's select in between. So let's leave the sub procedure. Control V to paste now. So we have that. So let's remove this end function to leave the second one. Save your work. And then here, let's remove this one as well. And save our work. Let's run our form. Ambiguous name. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to rename this one, the function to what? Image to picture. Let me name it 2. Let me run my form now. Okay, perfect. So I want to update. So what I want to do is search for the record. The record is now searched. So the gender is male. Let me change it to female. Change it to female. Now you can see it's male here. So once I click on update, you can see that it changed to what? Female. Now that is not the most important thing here. The most important thing is the image. Let's upload a new image. So let's assume this is the right person. Let's update, and then it's updated. Let's quickly go to the C drive and check inside our folder. You can see that the image has also been updated accordingly. Perfect. That is how we want it. So save your work. Now we move on to the next line of action. So what I'm going to do is to add some random data here. So for now we have only one record. I'm going to add up to like 5 records. So let me speed up this lesson. So now my record is now ready. So what I've just done is to copy this record down to get multiple records here because of what I'll be working with. So now the next thing I would want us to do is let's quickly add our calendar. Okay, so to add a calendar here, we are not going to use Chatgpt, but the calendar I'm going to be sharing with you in the link in the video description below should be your calendar forever, except for the fact that you're able to get a different calendar somewhere. You can go ahead and use that one. But then for now, you can go ahead and be using this one. So let me just go ahead and show you how it's done. I have the calendar here in this folder here, in this folder here called calendar. Okay, so this is it, and I'll be sharing that with you. So what I'm going to do is to let's go to the image control here. Let's grab this image control here and just copy this here. So what I'm going to do is to make sure it is selected. Then I'll come here and then click on picture. Okay. Then I'll browse to my desktop. I have a folder called icon. So I'll grab this icon, the calendar icon. You can see it's not visible. So I'll come here, picture size mode, and I'll stretch it. So I have that. So what I'm going to do is to select this, Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste. So I'll just add it, copy it, and then give it to this one. So I'm going to name them. So this one should be, this is text box 4. So I'm going to name it Cal T4, meaning calendar text box 4 for short. This one cal T5, okay, meaning calendar text box 5. What I'm going to do is to double click on this one first. Then I'm going to remove this long thing here. Just type click and then control, just open and close your parentheses. What we're going to do is to call the calendar, but it's not yet imported, so let's call it first. Let's import. So we go to file, click on import, then we go to desktop, go to calendar, then you select this one, then you open. So you can see this is the calendar, is here. This is it, calendar, perfect. So now let's go to our form. So now let's double click on this one once again. So let's clear this here. So what we're going to do is to copy this one for the second calendar. Control C to copy this so that we don't have to suffer again. Then Control V to paste and change this one to what? T5, meaning text box 5. As you can remember the names we gave. So here all you're going to say is call calendar dot selected date, then inside the parentheses text box, you say sorry, text box 4, then you close the parentheses. So what we're going to do is to copy this one here, Control C to copy, in between paste it here and change this to text box 5 like this. So now in your project you have your calendar up and running. So once you run this file now, sorry about that, you give it this one. So you should be able to select this one and then you get a calendar, you choose your date from here. So that will speed up data entry. You don't have to type the date all by yourself. So there we go. So let's save our work. So now let's come back here. The next thing we are going to do is this, our list box. Okay, we need to display all what we have here inside of our list box here. So to do that, it's very simple. We have a prompt for Chatgpt to generate a single line of code for us to link that up. But we need to do certain things by ourselves. The first thing is to create a name range here. So what we're going to do is to select this here, then go to insert. Okay, sorry, go to home here. Let's come to formulas rather. Then we come to name manager. Then we click on new. So let's name it main list. Okay, main list. So here what we're going to do is to expand this a bit. So let's clear what we have here and type equal to, and type offset. Okay, offset. Then inside the parentheses, we want to offset the first row, then comma 1, comma 0, comma, then type count A, meaning count all, then the whole column, all the records within the column. Then we close our parentheses. So now what we are going to do is to subtract the first row. Okay, so we say minus 1, comma, then 10. Where from the 10 columns, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. 10 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here is the 10. So once you're done, close your parentheses and click on OK. So when you click on this, you see that you can see some selected ring all around the text here, meaning the text is now covered within this name range called main list. So we close that. So what we're going to do is to go back to our user form now. So let's select inside here. Let's come to the properties panel here. So we say what column count, how many columns do we have? We have 10 columns, okay. And then column heads, yes, we want to show the column heads. So we say through. So you can see that the column heads are showing. Now the width, you can see that when you look at the records here, you can see that this is serial number and they are very small. So because of that, the width is very small. The name is wider and all that. So it's the width for all the various records are different. So we need to specify that as well here. So let's make sure this is the list box is selected. So let's come here. Since the first one is just a serial number, what we are going to do is to give it like probably, let's say 80, then comma, and then the next one is a name, so 200, then comma, and the next one it's like date. We have the various date. Let me just confirm that. We have the gender, date. Okay, the gender should take something like comma. The gender should take something like also 100, and the next one, date, let's give it 150, another date 150, and then what again after date, let me see that again. We also have class guardian, so the class like this should take something like 70. So the rest, after the 70, the rest I'm going to give them 200, 200, 200, so no problem. So this is after this one here, so 70 comma, then 200 comma, 200 comma, 200. Okay, if they are up to, so that is it. I think it's okay. So let's select that. Let's run our form and see. Okay, for now it wouldn't show. So what we are going to do is this. Let's expand this to make sure that it's up to the 10th column. So let's select this where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and the last one here, comma 200. There we go. So there we go. But it's now up to 10. So let's run our form now. Okay, for now nothing is showing. What we're going to do is let's come back to our prompt now. I think this will be the final prompt. So we are telling ChatGPT that I have a list box 1. This is the list box. It's called list box 1. Okay, so we are telling ChatGPT about it. So let's reduce this back to its default settings. Added to the user form. I also have a named range called main list, the name range you just created. I want you to write me the VBA code to assign the main list to the resource. To the row source of the list box 1. This is the row source. The row source, meaning that the source of the data that is going to be displayed here is what we term as the row source. Okay, so we're going to copy this prompt here. We're going to copy this prompt here. Control C to copy this prompt here, and then come back to ChatGPT. Then place inside this, press enter. Our prompt is ready and it's just a 1 line of code. So what we're going to do is to only copy this line of code, and it's going to be inside the user form initialized whenever the user form is triggered or is run. Sorry. So we go inside here, double click here, and inside the user form initialized, you can see, don't forget the name of the subroutine, Control V to paste here. So now let's save our work. Let's run our form now. So you can see that, let me just show you this. So you can see that all the records on the form, on the worksheet, we have it displayed here. You can see that perfectly executed. So now let's save our work and let's come back to our, click inside here. Let's format it appropriately. The text align, let's look at text align. We want to center the text inside here, and then the fonts. The fonts, we would want to bold the fonts perfectly. So we say bold Times New Roman. I would want to give it font number 12 or probably 11. Then okay, so run the form again. And you can see that the list is now displaying boldly without any problems, without any stress. So now if I try searching for a record here, I have the person's record. Easily as simple as that. You can see that with ChatGPT, or with the help of ChatGPT, we're able to put together this amazing advanced data entry system. I'll be teaching you how to create a complete system. I'm now going back to decide the system. So you can leave a comment in the section below by telling me the system you would want me to create using ChatGPT, complete system from the start to from the beginning to the end. I'm going to use ChatGPT to do all that for you. And we'll be creating user forms like this. So now, if you are about to create your own project, creating user forms shouldn't be a problem now. With all the existing models, we can copy them and even edit them. Okay, so it's as simple as that. And this brings us to the end of this amazing lesson. And then you can check the link in the video description below. You see all the files, the VBA codes, all the prompts that I use, all the files will be there in the link in the video description. Just download them, follow along with the lesson. If you haven't watched the first part of the lesson, I have the video link in the description below. Just click and watch, download the files, follow, finish with the part 1 before coming to the second part. In this second part, tell me the name of the system you would want us to create completely using ChatGPT. You can go ahead and leave the description of the system, the way you want the system to be. Leave all that in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to smash the like button, please. Smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel so that you can get notified anytime we upload new video tutorials like this. See you in the next lesson. Bye bye.